Awesome combo!
Hey guys, welcome back. Let's take a look at another awesome 5 toy lines from the 1980s. Starting off with the original run, LJN's Thundercats, 1985. LJN produced the Thundercats toys, which were based off the cartoon. 3 series came out. The first series of toys were interesting because they came with small, non-posable enemy characters or Kit and Kat as hero characters. Both Lion-O and Mum-Ra, the hero and the villain respectively, had an additional light-up eye feature where they had hollowed-out eyes and a little light would light up their eyes to show their powers. The toys were much taller and bigger in general than other toys at the time, towering over G.I. Joes and Star Wars figures. All 3 series came with Battle-matic action, being able to swing their arms and their weapons. Did you know that Thundercats were also released in France, but they were known as the Cosmocats? The toy line did fairly well for 3 years, and there was even talks of having a motion picture movie akin to the Transformers movie. Bandai currently has the rights to Thundercats and are making toys based off the 2011 cartoon. G.I. Joe, a real American hero, Hasbro, 1982 to 1994. 1982 saw the highly successful relaunch of the G.I. Joe product line in a smaller 3 3/4 scale. The scale was the same size used for the Kenner Star Wars figurines, but with many more points of articulation, much like the 1970s Mego Micronauts. The relaunch pioneered several tactics in the toy marketing, combined with traditional advertisement with an animated television miniseries and an ongoing comic book. The decision to use the smaller Joes also made it possible for Hasbro to produce a variety of matching vehicles and playsets that further expanded the appeal and commercial potential of the line. G.I. Joe's increasing popularity supported an array of spin-off merchandise that included posters, t-shirts, video games, board games, and even kites. Unfortunately, the 3 3/4 line was cancelled at the end of 1994, which also happened to be the 30th anniversary of G.I. Joe, which was commemorated by a reissue of the 12-inch G.I. Joe figures. Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo and Mattel, 1985 North American release. Now I know what you're saying. You're gonna say, Loch SNES, the NES is not a toy, but hear me out. Following the video game crash of 1983, Nintendo wanted to bring their home video game system to North America. With a redesign by Mattel and being packaged with Rob and a light gun, the Famicom, now known as the Nintendo Entertainment System, came to our side of the world in 1985. Now again, being paired with Mattel to make the console and the controllers more durable, the optional robotic operating buddy, or Rob, was part of the marketing plan to portray the NES as being more sophisticated when compared to previous game consoles, and to portray it in a position that was close to the toy market. While the Canadian and American consumers weren't entirely sold on the console itself, having peripherals like Rob and the light gun was actually what generated a lot of sales in the early years. Sadly, Rob was phased out of marketing and a lot of the bundles soon after. Lasting all the way up to 1995, the NES sold just under 62 million units worldwide. Cabbage Patch, Cabbage Patch Kids, Coleco, Hasbro, Mattel, 1982 till 2003. Now, Cabbage Patch is a huge toy line, and to preface this segment, I just want to say that my daughter, at the time of this video, is just about to turn 1, and she absolutely loves her Cabbage Patch. Now, the Cabbage Patch brand has changed hands quite a few times in this 30 plus years. I want to look more at the Cabbage Patch line and the Cabbage Patch Kids. Cabbage Patch Kids are the smaller version of the Cabbage Patch, which are soft sculpted, baby or childlike looking dolls. The Cabbage Patch Kids are obviously the same thing, only on a smaller scale. The big selling fact for Cabbage Patch Kids was that you weren't buying them, but rather you were adopting them, and they even came with adoption papers because the Cabbage Patch Kids were born in the Cabbage Patch. Now, apparently the Cabbage Patch have a notorious origin story because the creator, Xavier Roberts, stole the idea from American folk artist Martha Thompson. True or not, at its height, 70 million Cabbage Patch were adopted in 1 year. Lego, the Lego Group, 1949 to present. Lego, a Danish word comprised of 2 words meaning fair play, is a line of plastic construction toys that are manufactured by the Lego Group, a privately held company based in Denmark. Lego is colorful interlocking plastic bricks accompanied by an array of gears, minifigures, and various other parts. Lego pieces can be assembled and connected in many ways to construct objects, vehicles, buildings, and working robots. Anything constructed can be taken apart and the pieces can be used to make other objects. Lego has always been one of the top-selling children's toys across the world, but it has had its ups and downs. There was a few times where Lego actually thought about selling its toy line off. There were a few missteps in the late 90s, but Bionicles, pairing with Star Wars, and Lego Friends have really pushed it back up to the top of the market. Did you know that the Lego Movie and Lego Movie Batman were some of the highest grossing movies in the last 5 years? While, oddly enough, Ninjago, one of Lego's strongest sellers, didn't do so well at the box office. And that's gonna do it for another 5 awesome toy lines. So again guys, down in the comments, are any of these 5 toy brands some of your favorites? Any good memories about them? And what toys would you like to see in upcoming episodes? I do want to get back to the obscure toy lines soon, but for now, let's stay with awesome toy lines. Thanks again for watching guys, take care.